Greetings to each and every person who has given your time and treasure to join us in Caesarea with Glenn Beck and Restoring Courage celebration. I want to say personally, God bless Glenn Beck for his godly courage in making this night happen. This night is about courage, and the history of Israel is the portrait of courage. No greater words of courage have been spoken in human history than the words of Moses 3,500 years ago in his farewell address to Israel just before they crossed the Jordan River into the Promised Land. The land was filled with powerful enemies. Joshua was an unproven leader. The air was charged with a sense of fear and uncertainty. I want you to capture this scene in your mind. Moses stands to speak. He's 120 years of age. His radiant white hair is blowing in the breeze. His flesh has been bronzed by the burning sun of 40 years in the desert. His message that day is exactly the message we need to hear today. It's recorded in Deuteronomy 31:6. He said, "Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of your enemies. For the Lord your God is with you. He will not fail you, and He will not forsake you." People of Israel, our hope is not in Washington, D.C. Our hope is in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Our hope is the God that crushed the walls of Jericho.
That's right.
Our hope is the God who walked through the fire with the 3 Hebrew children. Our hope is the God who delivered Goliath into the hands of King David. Our hope is in the God who was with Esther, who said, "If I perish, I perish." And God used her to crush the conspiracy against the Jewish people in the Persian Empire. Our hope is in the God who brought the exiles back from their Gentile graves, and Israel was reborn in 1948 according to the promises of the prophets. Our hope is in the God of Israel, whose miracle-working power brought victory in the Six-Day War. Our hope is in the Lord of hosts. He will not fail us. He will not forsake us. He will defend us. People of Israel, we have come from America and the nations of the world as people of faith to say that God is with you. 50 million evangelicals in America are with you. This time in history, you are not alone. Millions of Christians here and around the world love you. They support you and pledge to stand with you today, tomorrow, and forever. As Christians, we believe that this land is a sacred land. It is your land, given to you by an eternal blood covenant, recorded in the book of Genesis 4,000 years ago. Israel must never be separated from their ancient biblical roots to this land. We have come tonight to say that the people of Israel are still the apple of God's eye. They are still the chosen people. They are still the covenant people. They are still cherished by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Your enemies are our enemies. Your fight is our fight. We are united, and we will prevail. As Christians, we see the coming storm and confess the words of Israel's greatest warrior, King David. Quote, "He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps." Pharaoh threatened the people of Israel, and he became fish food in the Red Sea. Haman threatened the extermination of the Jews in ancient Persia, which is modern-day Iran. And he and his 10 sons were hung on the very gallows that he built for the Jewish people. As Christians, we come to Israel to join with our Jewish friends to demonstrate our love and loyalty to you in this time of crisis. Ruth, another Gentile who on another day was standing on the borders of Israel, looking into the face of her mother-in-law, and made a statement of love and loyalty the world has never forgotten. She said, "Entreat me not to leave you, nor to return from following after you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people. Your God shall be my God. Where you die, there I will die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do more to me also, if anything but death parts you and me." Tonight, we come as Gentiles from the nations of the world to make a covenant of love and loyalty to Israel and to the Jewish people who are inseparable, that we will be loyal to you and your right to this land until the last day of our lives. Close with this thought. Almost 50 years ago, President Jack Kennedy flew into the divided city of Berlin at the height of the Cold War. He flew there at a time when West Berlin was a tiny outpost of freedom surrounded by communist tyranny. He flew there at a time when West Berlin was surrounded, hounded, and boycotted and hungry. He flew there to send a strong message of solidarity and resolve to the courageous West Berliners. Here is what President Kennedy said at that time in history, quote, 2,000 years ago, the proudest boast was civic Romanus sum. I am a Roman citizen. Today in the world of freedom, he said, the proudest boast is Ich bin ein Berliner. I am a Berliner. All free men, wherever they may live, are citizens of Berlin. And therefore, as a free man, I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner. And that was the end of the quote. We need to remember those words today more than ever. Today I stand at this ancient port of the city of Caesarea, at a time when Israel is a tiny outpost of freedom and democracy swimming in a sea of tyranny. I stand here as Israel is surrounded, hounded, and threatened. I stand here with a strong message of solidarity with you, my Jewish brethren, the apple of God's eye. At this difficult juncture in history, permit me to say something to you straight from the heart. Please know that what I say now is a sentiment shared by multiplied millions of Christians across America and around the world. Today, in a world of freedom, the proudest boast is this: Ani Yisraeli. I am an Israeli. all free men, wherever they may live, are citizens of Israel. Therefore, as free men, I take pride in the words, I am an Israeli. Say that with me. I am an Israeli. When international bodies ignore the world's genocides and massacres and racism to attack Israel, we proudly proclaim, say it with me, I am an Israeli. When college professors teach lies about Israel and students loudly call for Israel's destruction, we proudly proclaim, I am an Israeli. When hateful protesters try to shout you down, when flotillas filled with militants seek to turn Gaza into an Iranian port, we proudly proclaim, I am an Israeli. When the world condemns Israel for defending its citizens from thousands of missiles and mortar attacks, we proudly proclaim, I am an Israeli. When terrorists threaten to kill Israelis, we say, I am an Israeli. When Israel's allies grow weary of fighting tyranny and oppression and seek the easy way out, making the door of danger closer to Western civilization, we say, I am an Israeli. Israel and America share the same love of freedom. Israel and America share the same passion for democracy. Israel and America share the same Judeo-Christian values. Israel and America have the same enemies. Your enemies are our enemies. Israel's fight is our fight. If a line has to be drawn, then draw the line around both Christians and Jews. We are united. We are one.
We were thinking about having some fireworks tonight, but we decided to invite John instead. I was glad to hear John quote Deuteronomy, because Deuteronomy has been, Moses has been hounding me. And Deuteronomy, I urge you this week, remember, this week, I urge you to make your commitment and decision, no matter where you are on the globe, to make your decision. Choose between life and death, and choose this week. I urge you to read Deuteronomy. Please, study it. Know it. See the miracle of Israel. See with great humility. See all that God has done for us. See how good and gracious, and more importantly, see how loyal and how the Jewish people have honored God for thousands of years. How they have stood where they asked Him to stand. I will tell you that I have spent many days here in Israel in the last couple of months. And what has, I was going to say brought me to tears, but that's not a good expression because almost everything does. What has moved me so deeply is no matter what time of day I go to the Western Wall, there are people there worshiping and honoring God. I have tried to think of the other city or the other group of people that would hold that space for this long and honor Him. He said to His people, I'm coming. Stand here. And they have. I don't